live stream. We are Mississippi Family Homestead. We're located in central Mississippi, and we're going to try to bring you this homesteading question and answers and chat each weeknight here at 7:30. And tonight, we're going to be talking about a problem that we've got, and that problem is we've got, what, 30 chickens?
Yeah, we got like 30 chickens, and we have no eggs. But, you know, some of those are roosters, so they're not naturally gonna lay eggs. And there are a few that are a little older, so I think that might be part of the problem. But they were laying wonderfully in the summertime, and I think it's because they started molting, and I thought that was the problem, but that was like 2 or 3 months ago, and now they're still not laying eggs. So we're just, at our wits' end as to what I can do to kind of start getting these chickens to lay their eggs. So we have some thoughts and some ideas, and we're gonna kind of talk about that and see, what maybe your ideas are. And
this is our cat, Missile.
Yeah, he likes to get in the middle of everything.
Yeah. So okay, Missile, just sit down.
Yeah, it's okay.
And now this happened before the cold weather hit here, which we've had a little for Mississippi. It's cold. I know the northern states, you probably are thinking that's not cold, but it hit pretty low here one time. But this problem actually hit before it got cold here.
Yeah, it did. And I thought it was just because they were molting. So if you don't know what molting is, the chickens grow extra feathers in the wintertime, and so they lose their feathers and then grow new ones. It's just like a dog or a cat. They shed their fur and grow thicker fur during the winter, and they had lost all their feathers, and they wasn't laying eggs. And I thought, well, when they get nice and fluffy again, we're going to have some more eggs. Well, it was warm. The weather was great for quite a while, until recently, and I thought they would start laying again, but they haven't. So we just want to talk about maybe some ways or things that we can do to help them with that situation. So one of the most common things might be the daylight hours. I think up in the north it may be a little worse than it is here in Mississippi, because the daylight hours are you still get a good 10 hours of daylight during the day. So I'm not sure if that's quite the problem or what. So we have been trying to figure that out. Now, there is a trigger in the chicken's head that triggers the daylight hours, and it has to do with their hormones. So that may have something to do with it. I'm really not sure. But we're going to maybe do some supplements is what I'm thinking, to try to help them with their egg production.
So have you changed their food any?
I haven't yet. I did go and I bought them some extra grain and some mealworms. And normally I would cook some eggs and, give them some eggs to help them with that egg production. I think
a lot of people don't realize that chickens can eat cooked eggs.
Yes, they
You don't want to give them a raw egg, because then they'll start eating their own raw eggs.
That's right. But and they have been known to do that. I don't know if you know that or not, but sometimes I'll go in there and they have cracked. I guess their egg had a crack in it, and they'll eat their raw eggs. But it's better if you cook them some scrambled eggs, and that way they won't be eating their own eggs. But they do like scrambled eggs, and they'll eat scrambled eggs. It does help them. It gives them some extra protein and some calcium. Actually, they can eat their own eggshells too.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so you can.
What do you crush them up or what?
Yeah, you crush them up and you kind of put them in the oven and heat them up a little bit, and just to kill the germs or whatever. And then you crush them up, and they'll eat those eggshells. It gives them calcium.
All right.
So.
I know another big reason is like what you talked about, molting. Our chickens went through molting just recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
And were they having problems before the molting?
No, they wasn't having any problems before the molting. They were fine. They did wonderfully during the summertime. So I just really don't think I thought the molting was the factor, but I don't think it is now. I think maybe there might be a nutritional issue, and I may try to do some things to try to help with that. So I have been reading up on that, and last year they kind of stopped laying like that, but not as bad. And I upped their nutrition with giving them mealworms and giving them some grains. You can give them some oats or wheat or anything like that to help them with their egg production, in addition to their regular layer feed. And I think that maybe what I try to get them to lay some, start laying eggs. I hope it works. I don't know.
And by the way, if you've had this problem, let us know in the comments below if you've got this problem of chickens not laying eggs, and maybe you bought all those chickens and wonder why they're not laying eggs right now, or if you've figured it out or came across something we don't say here. You may be watching on the replay, so let us know in the comments below. We'd really like to hear from you.
Yep.
So another reason is kind of what we touched on, is the cold weather. We've had a little cool weather down here. It's been cooler as far as in the south, so I know that affects it.
Yeah, I think it does. The nights here have gotten down in the 30s, and they do require extra energy to produce eggs. So they're using their energy to keep warm. And, if you don't have a real warm place for them in the wintertime, they kind of use their energy to keep warm, and they don't lay eggs because of that. I feel like our setup that we have, they do stay pretty warm, and they also have good ventilation. You want them in a warm place, but you also want to have good ventilation for them when they're in their roosting area at night.
And our new chicken house, we built a new chicken house, and it's got really good ventilation. We've even got a fan in it. It was, really designed for ventilation in mind, and for the ability to keep it clean too. So
right.
I think they're a lot more comfortable in this chicken coop.
I think,
and also they don't get as wet, when it rains.
In our old chicken coop, they would get wet and stressed out, and
it just turned into like a muddy.
It did. Thing. So we had to
made for pigs, basically.
Yeah, it was terrible. Especially when it got rainy and they were just out in it and wasn't really able to keep dry. So we feel like we have a better setup now for them. Healthier, it's cleaner, it is a better environment. So, I'm just thinking that maybe they're not getting the nutrition that they need, in laying those eggs. Now, they don't free range. So a lot of times, if your chickens are free ranging, they're out eating bugs, they're eating grains and food that they find in the grass, and they do a better egg production a lot of times if they're out free ranging, and that's because they get more of that nutrition, out in the wild eating those bugs and grass.
Now,
and
the
stuff.
ones that we have that free range, are they having the same problem?
No, I think they did for a little while, but they are better now. The ones that we free range, we only have about 4 of them that free range, and those actually belong to my daughter-in-law. Which they live here on our property, and they are actually doing okay, I think. So
let me ask you this: if you've got a flock of chickens, if one chicken doesn't lay eggs, do they all get in whatever mood? Is that mood contagious?
I think whatever is going on in the environment has something to do with that. Now, I do get one egg. It's sad, y'all. I have
30 chickens.
No, they're not all hens. They're not all going to lay eggs. Okay. But and some of them are not old enough to lay eggs yet. So I do have one hen that she's very consistent, and she lays an egg every day regardless. But that's, really all that we're getting. I mean, they're sporadic eggs.
We need to pay her better, I think.
Yeah, I think we do. I don't know what we need to do. I don't know what the difference is. Now, you have different breeds that lay better. Than other breeds, and a lot of mine are crossbreed, and maybe that has something to do with it. Some of them are older; they don't want to lay when they get older either.
So the age of them, what is the?
Yeah, so as they get older, about 3 years for a lot of breeds. They'll stop laying eggs, and they're just there to look at that point. But they do stop laying eggs at a certain age.
Now, if you're just joining us, this little orange thing right here is part of our cat. He won't come all the way on camera, but he likes to be in the middle of everything. But so, do you think there's any health issues or anything? Have you found any?
I don't think they have any health issues. I tried to yeah, I know I say this all the time, but we use diatomaceous earth in our chicken pen, and it helps get rid of the bugs and the mites. So I don't feel like that they have mites or bugs or anything, or worms or anything like that. So I'm just, I really, really believe that it's a nutritional thing, and I'm gonna try to feed them every day some extras, make them maybe a mash type thing where I put some grains and maybe a little cornmeal. You don't want to do that, for their full meal every day, but I'm going to give them a little snack, of that, maybe with some warm water. And I feel like maybe that'll help the issue. So we'll see.
So does the brand of food have anything to do with it? Like if the food's not made
well,
right?
I mean, I don't think so. People say that it does, but I don't really think the brand has anything to do with it. I think that you have layer pellets or you have layer crumbles, and there's not really a difference in those, except one is a pellet and one is a crumble. So I don't think the brand really has anything to do with it.
And I know another thing, like you said, they could be under stress. I don't think ours are, but if you're having this problem, you might your chickens could be under stress.
Now, yeah, if in the wintertime, there's a lot of times the predators show up around the chicken pen. I don't think we've had any yet this year, but that can be a stress factor.
Now, we did have an incident a few months ago, but I don't know if that, it was something got into one of the pens.
Yeah, a raccoon got in there, but that was back during the summer. It actually got in there and caught one of my baby chickens and tried to eat it. If you don't know, raccoons will kill baby chickens. They usually don't mess with, the adult chickens, but they will mess with your baby chickens. So.
Yeah, and that was really a bad situation,
Yeah,
but I guess it could have stressed out
the big ones. It could have,
because it happened, and I'm sure it scared them all.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be a factor now. So the other thing is, you want to check for like respiratory illnesses in your chickens, but I really don't think mine have any of that. Their ventilation in their coop is really, really good. So.
All right. So is there anything else for somebody that's having the problem of your chickens are not laying eggs that you could suggest?
Well, you want to check and make sure that they always have food. Sometimes it's real easy in the wintertime, to not check on them as often. You don't have as many daylight hours, and especially, like us, we work a job, so it's hard for me sometimes to make sure that I run out there and, check those chickens and make sure that they have good water and a good feed, and, don't let them run out of water or food at all. That could be, something that would cause them not to lay eggs, I think.
Yeah, and nobody's perfect, so, you do need to try to make sure. I know we've run low before.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I noticed on our Silkies camera, they knocked over their little food bucket this afternoon.
Oh, did they?
So, yeah.
Okay, well, I will fix it.
We have a live camera that we run daily that's in our chicken coop with our Silkies. Those are Silkies that we actually hatched here.
Yes, we did.
Did you order those eggs, right?
Yes, I ordered those eggs from our hatchery, and they, I had 8 of them to hatch. The problem is that most of those are roosters. I think I only have 3 hens, and
so will they? Since they're cute little Silkies, will the rooster still fight?
They will still fight some, but it's not as bad
Okay.
as the other ones. And that can stress your hens out too if you have too many roosters. They can stop laying because of that. If you don't need but one rooster to 10 hens.
And ours are all separated.
Yeah,
They're
they are.
separated in different coops or different pens, so there's only one rooster per flock. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't stress them out.
No, I don't think so. Now my little silkies, we are gonna have to do something about all the
We
little
got a little
roosters.
situation there.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So we'll have to give those roosters away, some of them away. I really want to keep one of them, and then have my little hens. And then I have babies too. They're not laying yet, so I have to think about that. One breed of chicken that I have is the black copper Morans. They lay those really, really dark eggs.
Yeah.
And they're actually young chickens. They started laying back at the end of the summer, but they stopped laying also. So I'm going to do this nutritional thing and maybe, help them with that. And there are some things that you can feed them to help them with their calcium level. That would be oyster shells, to give them.
Where do you get oyster shells?
You get that at the local supply store.
Like Tractor Supply?
Yeah, like Tractor Supply or Co-op or something. You get that for them. I'm going to try to do that to give them some oyster shells and see if that'll help them also.
Okay. So when are you going to do all this?
Well, I'm gonna start this probably tomorrow. I'm gonna get up in the morning and do their special little mix and get them warm in the morning time, and maybe they'll lay me some eggs. And I think it'll probably take at least a week to get them, set to with that little special mixture to see if they'll start laying eggs or not.
Okay.
And we'll let you know, if they do start laying eggs better. I really think it'll work. I hope it'll work.
And does everybody have this problem every once in a while is this a common thing?
I think it is. I'd like to know in the comments below if what you do to ensure that your chickens lay eggs or continue to lay eggs. I'd like to know that.
Okay. So we'll keep you updated on that. And again, we're going to try to do this homesteading live stream every weeknight at 7:30 and talking about different topics. We're going to probably talk a lot about chickens at first because we have a lot of chickens. We're going to also talk about gardening. And if there's something you want to talk about, just let us know in the chat. But gardening here, there are some people doing some fall gardening, but we skipped the garden this year because we had a lot going on, and we're going to do the garden again coming up in the springtime, which is almost here.
Yeah, we'll plant some seeds in the greenhouse and get those started in the early spring. What do we do that? February, March?
We order the seeds the first week of January, and then we actually plant them into February and March, depending on which one. So we like to start our seeds indoors, and we've got some videos on the channel showing you how to do that. We're going to do a few more videos, but if you've never started seeds indoors, it's we do have the green lights and stuff like that, but you don't have to have that. You can just set them in a window, and it's a good thing for kids to see, and for them to try out and kind of learn about plants. And I think we used to do that in school when we were young.
Yeah,
We'd plant a little thing in a cup.
There's actually plants that you can do for your chickens. They like to eat herbs and things, and we may try some of that this year too.
Okay.
Maybe they'll be able to eat those herbs, and that'll help them with their egg production too.
Yeah.
Maybe, like parsley or something like that. They love anything green. And sometimes I just go in the summertime and pick out clovers that are growing on the ground, and they love clovers.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that you don't normally that you might not eat, you can sometimes give it to them.
Yeah, yeah. They'll eat scraps. They love scraps.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up tonight. We're going to be back tomorrow, and do you know what we're talking about tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow
You got a
we're
bug right there.
yeah, well,
So
country life. So tomorrow we're going to talk about heating in the wintertime for your chickens. Do you need it or not? So we'll talk
yeah,
about that.
cold weather is here. I know there's
Yeah.
you know, could be a snowstorm north of us tomorrow. I
Yeah,
think so.
I did see that.
So we'll have to talk about what you need to do with your chickens tomorrow. You know,
In the cold.
there's big debate on whether to keep them heated and all that stuff. So we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yep. Okay.
And again, if you have any suggestions, any topics you want to talk about, let us know in the chat. And if you've been through this problem that we're having as far as our chickens just not laying eggs when we used to have more eggs than we needed. And now we
Have one a day.
we have one a day. We
Yeah.
have a shortage. We don't have enough at all. So
Yeah.
If you've got any suggestions, if you've had that problem, let us know in the chat. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching Mississippi Family Homestead. And we'll see you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.